Are you sure? Sure. I know God wants to
make sure you guys are muted too. All right, so we are recording. But the reason why we did this was because we saw there was a huge group of new consultants. We've had over 800 brand new consultants join since April, which is mind-blowing. And as leaders, that can get overwhelming if we try to do it ourselves. So we just said, hey, let's do this together because we do have this mentality of we are better together. And so that's what we're doing. So we came up with Back to the Basics. And tonight you're going to hear from me going over the comp plan. And then you're going to hear from our leader, Sammy Rodriguez, Holly Phillips, Julia Erb, and Sarah Myers. All four of those leaders are amazing. I encourage you to follow them on social media. And then we also have Lindsay Pearson. Her and I both are going to kind of talk about, probably mostly her, is going to talk about this new system that her and I created that we've been using, and it's gold. And it's so simple that a brand new consultant can do it, and you can utilize it all the way up to when you become an SSD. So I love that. But we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to have to just hold off on admitting all these people. So we're going to go ahead and get started. First off, how many new consultants do we have? Like, raise your hand because we've got 4 pages here. Oh, wow. Keep your hand raised. I'm going through the pages. All right. Perfect. I love that. I love seeing so many of you guys hungry to just want to build your business. I love it. All right. So first off, welcome to our Cincy family. It's a huge honor that you are here. And tonight we're going to talk about comp plan, and we're going to talk about what to do as a new consultant. So you're a new consultant. Now what do you do? And we all run our businesses very differently, but yet we all run it very similar. In the same, we all have the first goals, which are shooting star, sensational start level 1, 2, or 3, and getting to certified. And you'll see as I go over the comp plan why it's so important to hit that certified. So I'm going to go ahead and go to my screen share for a second. The first thing you do as a brand new consultant is what? Your first things first checklist. That is the number one thing that you should do as a brand new consultant, next to putting in your own social security number and spending the money to join, or getting it for free if you would have hosted a party. That's the first thing, because that's going to basically go over everything that you need to do to first start off. And you can't move forward if that is not finished, meaning you won't be able to promote if that is not finished. And it'll show incomplete on your leaders' reports. And that's why if they reach out to you and say, hey, have you done your first things first checklist? It's because we know how important it is to have that completed so you can continue moving on. And we know what's in the first things first checklist. And so we want to make sure that if you have any questions, you can reach out. Hold on, let me get all these comments over here. Oh, yeah, so I can do a co-host. Margaret, how do I do that? Oh, it's fine. It's fine. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and do a screen share so you guys can understand the comp plan, because that is, I think, is like the first thing people ask for is, how much am I going to make? What do I need to sell? And what do I need to do to promote, right? I think I hear that every single day. So let me see if I can get the screen share going here. All right. Okay, can you guys see my screen? Yes?
Yes.
Yes, perfect. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So first things first is you just joined and you're an essential consultant. I'm pointing at it with my finger like you guys can see that part. An essential consultant. And the PRV is your personal retail volume. So if you see people using PRV, GWV, TWV, that's what that is. It's just broken down. So as a brand new consultant, you make 20% of your whole monthly sales. So say if your sales are at $500, that's $100 in commission that you will get on the 10th of every month. So the reason why we try to get you guys to go to certified is because when you sell a lifetime, meaning from the day you join till however long you've been with Cincy, $1,000 in PRV, you get an automatic 5% increase. So if your whole sales is $500 for that entire month, on payday you'll get $125. Now, some people may not think $25 is a big deal. When I first joined, $25 was a huge deal. So that's a huge jump. So, and also if you guys sell $2,000 in the whole month, you guys get 30%. So basically, if you're a brand new consultant and your goal is to make as much money as you can first selling, I encourage you to have $2,000 in PRV every single month. And what that means is you're going to get a $100 bonus on payday. So you just went from 20% starting out to getting now 30%. So that's a huge deal. That's $600 in PRV. See that big increase? Even as a leader, I strive for $2,000 every single month minimum because I want that extra $100 bonus. And hello, you get a monthly sales award. That's awesome. So do you guys understand all of that so far? Yes? Okay, cool.
Yes.
All right. And if you guys have questions, there's the chat box. So please utilize that because we're going to try to cram a lot of information into a short amount of time tonight. So even if you are a new consultant, I highly recommend to go ahead and start building your own team. You do not have to be an OG consultant. You don't have to be seasoned to start building your team. I was 4 months in before I started getting people to join my team. And that doesn't mean I wasn't trying. I was trying basically from the time I joined. Did I know what I was doing? No, but I would figure it out. And the cool thing was that I would figure it out with that person who joined me. And that made it a lot more fun because then we kind of became accountability buddies. So it's always fun to have people on this journey with you, no matter how seasoned you are. And the cool thing is when you do get people to join your team and you try to promote to lead consultant, what you need as a lead consultant is 500 PRV from you, 1,000. This is when you're going to see the TWV and the GWV coming in. If you are not a director, the TWV has nothing to do with you, okay? Because that is going to change when you become a director and above. So focus on the GWV, your group, okay? So for that, you're going to need 1,000 in GWV. That is you plus your new team member or team members. And if you guys all sell a certain amount in that month, and you guys hit 1,000 together, that's your GWV. Now the $1,000 is a combined sales, which is 75% of each of your guys' PRV. Does that make sense? So 75% of your 500 makes up that 1,000. Does that make sense? I hope it does. And if it doesn't, please ask questions. I know our leaders are probably hopefully helping answer those questions. So say 500 from you and 500 of, I don't know, Sally's. That's what? 75% is 375, I think. Together, that's almost 1,000. So you would need just a little bit more. I hope my math is right? It's fine. But you know what I mean. So 75% of your PRV and 75% of your team members' PRV is what equals your GWV. Does everyone understand that part? A little bit? Say yes or no. Okay. I can see just like a handful of people. So I'm like, let me know. And then you will need one active frontline, which is somebody you personally sponsored under you, not your team member sponsoring. Someone you personally sponsored. I always say, if you can get grow as many frontline as you can wide, and then go deep, meaning just sponsor all your friends, all your family members, and do this with them because it makes it so much more fun. And the more that you sponsor people and the more that you work together, that's when you're going to continue seeing the pay raises, because once you start getting that frontline active and you promote to lead consultant, you get a 2% leadership bonus. You'll see that down here, right here. You get a 2%, oops, right here, 2% of their TWV. I know that I said that didn't matter, but their TWV and GWV are going to be the exact same until they hit director. So you're going to hit 2% of their TWV, GWV, because it's all the same. So that's like a leadership bonus. That's extra money in your pocket. And then you guys always will get, once you hit certified, you get an extra 2% off your personal wholesale volume. So that's like your PWV. You'll see that. You'll see your PRV and your PWV next to each other, or underneath each other, I'm sorry. And that's like an extra bonus that you guys get. Why not? Why not get that extra bonus, right? So let's go to Star Consultant. Again, oh, also, you don't get paid any of these titles unless you hit these requirements every month. So you can be that title, you can hit that lead title, but if you don't hit those exact numbers, next month, you won't get paid as a lead. You'll get paid as a certified, but you'll still be a lead consultant. That's why we always encourage being paid at title is so important, because you get all these little extra bonuses. So Star Consultant, it's the same thing, 500 PRV. I always say if you want to be a leader, like if you want to be a serious leader, then you should have your 500 in by the 15th of every month, because that's going to show that you are leading from the front and you're front loading. We'll get into that one of these other topics. But 500 in as your PRV. And then you and your team members, which you see here, you have to have 2 active frontline. So you at least need 2 of your own team members. You guys need to have 2,500 in GWV. Again, that's 75% of your PRV. So when you do these calculations, say you have the 500 and 2 of your team members have the 500, it's 75% of each of their PRVs collaborated together. So, and then down here, you see that you get an extra 2% from lead consultant, meaning you get now 4% from your PWV, your personal wholesale volume, your frontline, essential, and certified consultants. And then if you have somebody that's a lead consultant now, you get an extra 2% from their TWV. Guys, like those are leadership bonuses. Don't wait around. Don't wait around to grow your team and to promote. And the cool thing is, well, this is why I love our comp plan, is because say you're a Star Consultant and you have a team member that's a lead consultant and they promote to the same title as you, you will not get paid off of that team member that just promoted unless you promote to the next rank. So what that means is Cincy's holding you accountable. They're going to say, if you don't want to work your business, we're not going to promote you. We won't let you have a bonus off of this team member who promoted because you don't want to work your business. Does that make sense? So our comp plan is actually our accountability buddy to keep us accountable as leaders. And I love that. So moving on to Superstar Consultant. This is a big one. This is the one right before the big D right here, the big director. That sounded so wrong. So I'm sorry if that sounded really bad. But okay, Superstar Consultant, 500 PRV. We're going to say that across the board for everybody. All titles, 500 PRV. You have to have 6,000 GWV. So between your 3 active frontline, that's the minimum that y'all need is 3. Then again, 75% of all of your guys' PRV has to make up that 6,000. And then look at this increase in bonuses. 7% wholesale volume. That's off of your own PRV. So that's an extra bonus. And then your essential and certified. And then your frontline lead. And then your frontline star. Look at that. Why would you sit on this? Why? So this is why it's so important that we continue to say, get paid at title, continue building leaders in your team for your benefit and for theirs. Again, because if they get to the same title as you, you don't get paid off of them Because if you're not going to work your business, you don't deserve to have leadership bonuses. That's just me being honest. And we have so many people that sit at this title, and this title, who do not get this, but they have everything else. But because they can't work, I'm not gonna say can't, they choose to not work their business, they don't get these leadership bonuses. Those leadership bonuses are a privilege. So don't sit on it. Do not sit around and watch your team work and you don't, because it's not gonna pay off. What's gonna pay off is you working. So director. This is a big one. Hold on, let me make sure that nobody's trying to get into our thing. Or if they're trying, I'll do that in a minute. Okay, so director, this is huge. This is the leadership position. All of these are leadership titles, lead, star, and superstar consultant. But director, in Cincy's eyes, is like the first level of leadership, the top 2% in our company. And it's huge. So 500, okay? Then you need your three active frontline. And then you see these right here all change. So you need 10,000 as a whole, okay? 10,000. And if you have a director underneath you, so say it's just you promoting to director, we'll just say that. All you need is 10,000 and then the 3 active frontline and the 500. But say you get a team member under you. Say you get a director under you, one of your team members. You will still get paid. This is the only time, director and above, that if someone's the same title as you, you still get paid off of them. So if you're a director and you promote and you get a director under you, you still have to have just your team without them. Without that director who just promoted, without them, your team still needs to sell 2,000. Again, with a 3 active frontline. And then look at these bonuses. Look at the 9% for your personal, essential and certified, 9%, lead, 9% or 7%, star, 5%, 2%, 3%. Y'all, if you guys have your own director, look, you get that jump, that 1% jump. That's a big difference. You get a 3%. And a director Q, we'll get into that in a second. And then your first generation director right here, like, look at all those bonuses. Like, I just don't understand why people like don't work to get these extra bonuses. Okay. So star director. Star director means you have 2 directors, 2 frontline directors. Together as a group, they need 30,000. And then their team. So for example, my team, I would have to have, if I had 2 directors, their teams are going to have to do their thing, but then my team that I'm a director of has to at least sell 6,000. And then the 3 active frontline, 2 generation directors, and then look at these bonuses. And then if they have a director under them, I get that extra bonus. So I know some of this stuff may not make sense in the director area, but trust me, when you get to director, we will go over all of that again, because all of you guys will be a director one day. I believe it. So superstar director, this is my title. This is a lot, but here's the thing. I have to work for this. See that? I have to have the 500 in, which you guys heard me say in the beginning. I push for 2,000 every single month because I want that $100 bonus. Our group has to sell 80,000 as a whole. And then my team, just my team that I'm a director of, has to sell 10,000. And then I have to have 3 active frontline. I have to have now 4 frontline directors. And then any director under them is a 2nd and 3rd, 4th. I think we have 6 gens now, 5 or 6 gens in our leadership, which is amazing. But I have to work to get all of these bonuses. I have to work. And it only stops at third gen. That's the most generation directors people can get paid off of. But it's still amazing to have your 4, 5, and 6 and so on. Because that's, again, you're growing wide and you're growing deep. And that's what you want in your business. If you guys want to make this long term, you want this to be your full-time career, That's what you have to do. You have to grow wide and you have to grow deep. And that's something that I've always done since I started. So let me go back on here. Let me stop the screen. Oh, and this is actually on the workstation, and there's actually trainings to go over the compensation plan for every single title. So whatever title you're at, there's a training on it to break down the compensation plan. Just throwing that out. So let me get back on here. Holy moly, okay. Let me admit all of these people that are still waiting to come in. All right, so I'm going to actually stop talking. And where is Sammy? Where's that pretty face? She's somewhere in here, I hope.
Hey, I'm here.
Oh, there you are. And you have Piper. Okay, so I'm going to hand it over to the rest of the leaders because they're going to talk about what they did as a new consultant, what helps them, what helped them, what didn't work. I don't know what they're going to talk about. I'm just going to hand it over to them because I know that they're going to just love all of you. So go ahead, Tammy.
Well, real quick question. Didn't Chelsea or didn't Lindsay and I switch?
Oh, yeah. Okay. That was for, yeah.
So we're just going to bypass me and I'll talk next week.
Okay, yes. All right, so we're going to do, Lindsay, do you want to go now or do you want Holly to go now? Where's she at? Where's Lindsay?
You want to screen share?
Oh, yeah, I got to go back to screen sharing. Okay, so real quick, before we get into Holly and Juliet and Sarah, Lindsay and I are going to go over, well, mostly Lindsay, is going to go over these system that we created together, her and I. And she's going to, I hope she can walk you guys through this as best as she can with my screen. But it's super simple. And Lindsay, we don't have to share the leadership part. We'll just share the basic part if you want.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, I have it pulled up, or I had it pulled up. All right, let me go ahead and screen share again. Let me admit this one person. Okay, there we go. Screen share. Okay, so these are the systems that Lindsay and I created, but tonight we're just gonna go over the all consultants and the promotion trackers. So I'm gonna click on this and then Lindsay, you take it away.
Okay. So Chelsea, I'll just let you know like which ones that we can blow up or whatever. But so as a new consultant, when I started out, I wish I would have had systems day one. And when I say systems, I mean keeping your business organized. When I started as a consultant, I was working full time. I had 2 small kids. Things were crazy. Throwing in a business was probably the craziest thing that I could have done. But to be all honest, like having systems is going to keep you so organized and so on top of things if you are working another job or if you do have small kids or whatever the case may be. So what Chelsea and I put together is the simplest system that you could ever start for yourself. You're going to see a bunch of other systems that other leaders have created, and you are more than welcome to use those. For us, we just needed like basic, like simple, basic pieces of paper, no fluff, no frill, no nothing. And for me, I'm a pen and paper type of person. I know Chelsea's a pen and paper type of person. We prefer actually writing everything out and color coding and all that kind of stuff. I've tried like the notebook things where you take an order form and you move it. You'll see lots of trainings on that. I've tried Maven. It's now called Amy, the app that you can use. Nothing like that worked for me. So Chelsea and I sat down and put together pretty much everything that you could possibly want in a system. So you'll see the first thing there is just the calendar. So that is the entire calendar for the rest of 2020. And as we get into more years, I'll update that. But so you can print that out, and at the bottom of that, there's notes at the very bottom. So you can, if you need extra space, you can always have extra space. The next one is annual mentor tracker. And you're probably all thinking annual mentor tracker is for, directors and above, all of those leaders. Absolutely not. That annual mentor tracker, you 100% can earn that if you just started. There is no reason why you cannot. So this is a good way to even just start like your first year. You can actually see how close you could come. I didn't know about the annual mentor until a year and a half in. And honestly, I probably would have pushed a little bit harder every single month to try and earn this. So you bet your bottom dollar that this year, I'm earning this. So super simple. This is the annual mentor. Sorry, I was doing annual sales in my head, but annual mentor. This is for 14 frontline that promote to certified consultant or above between May 1st and April 30th. That's just 14 people throughout the entire year. So May 1st through the next April. Super easy. So you just put your consultant name, join date, and then the date that they hit certified or above. So that is that one. The next one's annual sales. So again, this 100% can be for day one consultant. There is no reason why you guys cannot earn this. So that is 30,000 cumulative PRV between May 1st and April 30th. So what you would do is I've already put my May PRV on there, and then over where the cumulative, you just put the same number. And then for June, you put your June PRV, and then you add that to your cumulative, and that's your new cumulative. So super easy there. The next one is your daily tracking log. This one is huge. I love doing this, not only to see like how far I've come throughout the month or throughout the years, but even on like a daily basis. Like it's fun for me to go in there and see our numbers go up every single day and how close you are to your, next promotion or your next goal or whatever the case may be. I keep these throughout the entire year. So let's just say next June, if I have this, I can go back next June and see, kind of where we were number wise, and kind of push myself and our team a little bit harder to, do a little bit more next year. So that's the daily tracking log. The next one is one that I personally do. I do love brag tag on any orders that I get. So this is just a simple way for you to keep track of who, tags you on Facebook when they get an order in. I always pick a winner every single month and they get like a $5 Starbucks gift card or Dunkin' Donuts or something like that. So that's just a simple way to keep track of all of those. The next one is the pre-orders. So this sheet or form can be used for anything that you can pre-order, whether that's set and warmer of the month, when we had the child buddy come out, the NFL buddies, like anything that you can take orders from before it actually launches. This is a really good sheet to use. So you just put the name, the items that they want, whether or not you sent the invoice, whether or not they paid, when you ordered it, and then when it was delivered to them. So super easy there. The next one is the sample request form. So in my VIP page, I do a freebie Friday every Friday. So my customers know when they comment on my freebie Friday, whether that's sample Friday or sample wax sample, like I'm doing Cincy soak samples. So I put all their names down, what they requested as a sample. Even if you have random customers that say, hey, I would like to try the counter clean before I buy, this is a good way to put their name in so you don't forget who wanted a sample. But the date they sent, and then the biggest thing with samples, if you are not following up on every single sample that you send out, you are wasting your time, 100%. And to be honest, I was not the best at doing it, but now I am, and I see a huge jump in my PRV. Because if you're just sending a sample, they're gonna test it, and then what are they gonna do? They're just gonna sit around and wait for you to ask how you like it. So follow up is huge for samples. The next one is a huge one again. So the thank you and follow-up tracker. So this is where you put every single order that you place in your workstation that you get from your PWS, anything like that. You put their name down, whether or not there's a section for the host name. So if it's under a party, you can put the host name to kind of keep track of all that. When they ordered it, and then when it was delivered. So I had another leader say something about sending a thank you card. Number one, sending a thank you card is huge. It is a huge huge, what's the word I'm looking for? Benefit, there we go, benefit to your business. So I used to send a thank you card as soon as they ordered. As soon as I got an email that I had a Cincy order, I would send a thank you card. I have now changed it to when I track it, so when it's delivered, that's when I'm sending the thank you card, because it's another touch point for your customers. So they have at least some time to actually try the product, and then they try it, they fall in love with it, and then they get your thank you card in the mail, and they're like, oh, And then you can follow up on the thank you card that you sent and follow up on their orders too. So all that's in there for you to keep track of. And then the last thing on here is just the to-do list. So this is just a simple, if I did not have a to-do list every single day, I would go insane. So this is just a simple, you can put the date, the task that you need to complete, and then a little checkbox for when it's done. So that is that.
We're doing the promotion tracker, right?
Huh?
You want to do the promotions too?
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
Mhm.
Let me go back to that. All right, let me make sure I'm coming back to admit people because I know there's people trying to get on.
Oh, you're fine.
Okay.
And I'll post the Google Doc or Google Drive, that's what it's called, in the group later tonight.
Perfect. And can you share the ARC system like in the post too that we used?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Let me go back to screen sharing. I'm admitting all these people. Awesome. I love this. Okay. Let me go back here. Screen share.
The
All right.
promotion tracker thing is something that I created on my own. I honestly have never seen anyone create one. But this was huge for me to keep track of, like when I was promoting to lead and star and superstar and director, and even star director, I was crunching numbers like crazy. So here's the one for lead. So anyone that's new, this is probably going to be your first promotion that you're going to want to keep track of. So at the top, you'll see the 3 boxes. Those are the 3 things that you have to have as a lead consultant in order to promote to lead. So you can see 500 PRV, which Chelsea just went over on the compensation plan, 1 active frontline, and then 1,000 GWB. So at the very top is kind of like your base equation that you need. So your GWV goal, you're going to put 1,000. You're going to subtract what your current GWV is. So whether that's 500, whatever that is on your workstation. So that's going to be the GWV that you need to promote. And then that number, you're going to divide that by 75%, so 0.75, and that's going to equal the PRV you need as a team. So you can divide that by, if you have 3 people on your team, you can divide that by 3, whatever the case may be. There's 15 spots on this tracker, so you can do it like every other day type thing. So you can kind of keep track and see how close you are and see how much more you need to push to get that promotion. So there's a tracker for every single title on here. And then the compensation plan is right there as well. So you guys can keep track of all that stuff. So hopefully that makes it a little bit easier. I've had notebooks just full of promotion trackers for myself and for other team members. So I figured a document would be better to have. So
yes. And when she told me she was making that, I was like, oh my God, no wonder you're just amazing because you think of that stuff. So Lindsay will share all of this tonight or in the morning, whatever time works best for her.
It'll probably be tonight.
And she'll share the binder that her and I both actually have. Like I said, we started doing this system together at first to make sure it actually was like legitimate to like share. Is it worth sharing? And it is. It's working for us. We shared it with the leaders first, and gave them a whole nother side of the system, which is the leadership side, which we will talk about on another time. But yeah, so she's going to share that. And I'm super excited for all of you guys to utilize this. If you want, you don't have to. We are not offended. So next, we are going to talk to Holly. Yes, Holly's going to talk, and then it'll be Julia, and then Sarah. So like I said, Holly Phillips, Julia Erb, and Sarah Myers are also amazing. And I hope you guys just learn tons from them. So Holly, go ahead, and I'll just ask you to unmute, and then I'm going to mute myself.
Hello. Can you guys hear me? Everybody good? Okay. All right. My name's Holly Phillips. I am the director of the group Famous and Flameless. Flameless and Famous. I don't even know my own group's name. It's such a tongue twister. I am just going to begin with a tiny bit about myself and why I joined Cincy. You will hear a million times us talking about your why. Why did you join Cincy? Why are you still with us? Because your why will most certainly change. over time. So I'll share mine very quickly with you. First of all, I joined Cincy about 7 years ago, and Chelsea is my sponsor. I actually joined under Grace Adele, which was our sister company at the time, but we got rid of it. I was sitting in the hair salon, and I picked up a catalog, a Grace Adele catalog, and I fell in love. It was like purses, wallets, jewelry. Fell in love with it. Contacted the person on the consultant on the catalog, and first of all, she took a while to respond to me, like a few days. And then I just didn't get a good vibe from her. But I really loved the product. And I didn't even know the product, but I loved the catalog. And so I started looking, and I found Chelsea, and I read her why. And I emailed her a couple of times, and I was like, you know what, we're a good match. And I joined. The reason I mention that is because you could be that person where somebody contacts you to join, and maybe you're not too sure about growing your team. Maybe maybe you're just not on top of your game, and like you're not checking your emails and stuff like that. But if you don't respond and that person is serious about it, you know, they're going to move on and go to somebody else. So if you're serious about joining your team, then you definitely want to be on top of it. So anyway, I joined, and then I think like less than a year later, I joined Cincy as well. And it just happened to work out because Grace Adele was discontinuing. So anyway, but the real back picture was that I was already looking for something because I was going back to school full time. So I had to cut my hours at work, and I needed to supplement my income a little bit. So that's the real reason I joined. Maybe a year into it, couple of years, maybe tops, I got pregnant with my second child, and I decided I am not going back to work. I am absolutely not going back to work. I worked full time with my son, and there was a lot of issues there, and I was like, I just don't want to do it. So at the time I was a star consultant, and I made it my goal. It was hard. Don't get me wrong. It was hard, you know, and I definitely wasn't even making enough with Cincy at the time to fully supplement my income, but I knew that I could, and I knew that that was always my end goal. And so I just worked and worked and worked. And within the first month of me quitting my job, I became a superstar consultant. 1 year later, I became a director. But let me tell you guys, that jump, like even when you hit superstar, it's a huge pay jump. It's totally worth it. And like Chelsea was saying, why leave that money on the table? I mean, when you see it, you're like, whoa. You know, like say you've been with us for 6 months now or even longer, and then you finally hit it, and then you realize I could have been making this all this time. It's crazy. So anyway, here I am. It's been my second daughter, or well, she's my first daughter. My second child is now 4, going on 5. I've had a third. She's 2. So I still stay home. I don't have any plans of going back to work, even though my husband asks me to. It has nothing to do with money. It's just because he wants me out of the house. But it's not happening. So anyway, that's my why. And it does, you know, it continues to evolve. I stay home with my kids because I enjoy it, because I love it. I don't want to go back to work for selfish reasons. And I have that ability, you know, I can make that choice because I'm still sitting here making money. And I definitely put a lot of time and effort into it, but I can't say I put 40 hours a week into it. Definitely not. So anyway, moving on. A few things that I did starting out was, very first thing I did was launch party. Chelsea was still even kind of newer to Cincy, but you know, she was on me. She's like, we got to do your launch party. We got to do your launch party. And I remember I was so scared, and I made her like come over. I even went to one of hers. Well, it wasn't your launch party, but I went to one of her parties to feel it out and everything. And, but I made her come over because I was so nervous. I didn't know what to do, but it ended up being great. I don't think I had a ton of people come, but I still had online orders and stuff. I reached my shooting star, which is the $500 in your first 15 days, which, by the way, if you're newer, right now it's 20 days because of the pandemic. Just so you know, because on your workstation, it won't show that. So whatever it shows you as your 15 days, you have an extra 5 days from that. But, so I did my launch party, and from there, I just continued to grow. And I did that by sharing our product with, you know, my friends, my family, my coworkers on Facebook. Like I said, I was doing the purses and stuff at first. So every time I got a new person, I was taking pictures and showing that. You can most certainly do that with our warmers, our fragrance flowers, and everything else. But literally everybody. That's why you need to make your list of 100. And you'll say, I don't even know 100 people. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You probably know 500 people, if not more. I'm talking friends, family, coworkers, your kids' parents, your kids' friends' parents, your grandparents, like your aunts and uncles. I mean, the list goes on. It's forever long. Your kids, if they're in sports, you know, meet other parents, teachers. I mean, how many people do you come across every day? In the store, your cashier, like, here you go. You know, thanks so much for helping me out today. Like, here's a sample and my card or whatever. You know, tell them like a 10-second spiel on Cincy and what you do. And don't just hand it to them and be like, okay, thanks, because they're going to be like, oh yeah, what's this? And then they're going to like it, but then they're probably going to go find somebody else because you weren't very personable. So, you know, give them a quick little synopsis of what you're doing. But everybody, make contact with everybody, share it with everybody. Make a customer/business group on Facebook. If you're on Facebook, use Instagram, you know, use your stories, use Snapchat. I mean, there's a million, the options are endless any way you look, social media, everything. I also started, this wasn't what I was doing in the beginning. I just started doing this a few months ago, but I do my own customer newsletter. A lot of us do that. Every month, I use Constant Contact. You do have to pay for that. I think that there's free ones out there, but I really like Constant Contact. You pick your template, super easy to throw everything into. I literally go on to the workstation. I save the images. I go to the marketing tab. I save the images. I will copy and paste. And then I go to my website and I will copy and paste like the description of the warmer or of the scent or whatever, and I put it in there. I mean, I put some of my own words in there, like in my introduction, but for the most part, I copy and paste. And I put our warmer of the month, our scent of the month, any specials that we have going on that month, and anything else that I think they need to know. I attach the links, boom, super easy. And I definitely, every month, I see more and more people who open it. It tells me how many clicks and stuff I get. And my customers really seem to enjoy it. And I like making it. It's fun. So that's another thing that you can do that will really help you. Other than that, in the beginning, like, I don't know, I just continue to share and I stuck with it. And, you know, I started, actually Jessica Murch, she is now a director. She's the director of Sense It, Love It. What is it? Sense It, Love It. I want to say List It because Love It or whatever that show is. Anyway, she was like my very first consultant underneath me. So really quick, I want to go through just a few things and then I'll turn it over to, I believe that Julia is next. But Chelsea mentioned the first things first checklist. You most certainly have to go through it because you won't even get your sensational start if you don't complete it. And I can tell you, as leaders, one of the things that kind of drives us crazy because it's just time consuming is that we get questions after questions about things that are in the first things first checklist. And I try to, if I'm in a hurry, you know, I'll admit, like, sure, I'll go to Facebook and I'll type, not just for Cincy, but anything, even on my own personal Facebook, you know, and I'll ask a question. But if I can, I'm going to go to our directors group. I'm going to go to Google. I'm going to go wherever I can and search it myself before I ask, because I want to know for myself, right? I don't, somebody could tell you, but that doesn't mean that they're right. That doesn't mean that the way that they read it and the message that they got from it is the same message that you'll get from it. So I just highly encourage you to do it on your own. Plus, if you're going to go anywhere in this business, like, you really want to know what you're talking about. You want to know what you're doing. So anyway, in the first things first checklist, it's going to go through the consultant guide. It'll even give you a link for the new consultant orientation. That video is like 3 minutes long. There are so many amazing training videos, and people are like, oh, you know, they put it off because they think it's going to be like a 45-minute video or whatever. Since these videos are quick, they are not that long. If you hop on our Tuesday trainings, or like Jason's videos, even Sarah's, like, they're 3 to 5 minutes long. They are not long at all. So some of them, of course, are a little bit longer, but for the most part, they're pretty short. So, and I know in the beginning it's super overwhelming, but just take it day by day. Like, use the systems that you were given, but also even make your own little checklist, like your new consultant checklist, you know, make your own. What am I going to do today? Spend 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes in the evening, 30 minutes, whatever. And say, okay, today I'm going to read pages 1 through 5 of the consultant guide or of the Cincy standards. I know that that's long and super overwhelming because there's a lot of legalities and you may not even understand it, but I highly recommend whenever you have a question, especially about legal things and can I share this and can I do this sale or whatever, go to Cincy standards because you're going to find it there. And we just talked about this on our call like last week or whatever, and we were laughing because some of us didn't even read it until recently. And I even said it's been a few years, but I couldn't believe the things that I learned in it. I was like, oh my gosh, had I read this 7 years ago, that would have been amazing. So do it. Don't be like me. But anyway, and another thing that a lot of people don't know, so I'm telling you this for people who join underneath you, but you can sell immediately. You click that join button, you go to your PWS, you go to your workstation, you can sell. So on the outside to your customers, there's only a few things that you really have to do. You go and you say, hey, I'm a Cincy consultant now. You share your link, you share some products, and boom, you've got your orders. There's even a list or a video on the first things first checklist on how to input orders. Most definitely come to your sponsor, even your director. If your sponsor's new too, we will help you through it, but watch that video. It's very helpful. But like I said, on the outside, there's only a few things that you really have to do. All of those internal things like reading the handbooks and stuff, you can do that over time. Nobody says that you have to do that in your first 48 hours or your first week. Like, take your time. Don't get yourself too overwhelmed because it will definitely bog you down. Have fun with it. Have fun with it. I had some other stuff written down. I'm going to cut it short because I know that we have other people talking. But most importantly, your shooting star, your sensational start, which sensational start is your first 70 days, and there's 3 levels, but they also extended that. So the time that you have on your workstation is not going to be fully correct. The other thing that I want to mention, two more quick things. So the incentive, we're in the middle of an incentive, and a lot of you don't even know that. Actually, we're at the end of an incentive, and this is our last month. But that is not to say that you can't earn it, because you most certainly can. Especially if you joined a month or two ago, you may already have the PRV for it, or maybe you already have the consultants for it, and you just have to get the PRV. Totally doable. Don't think, oh, I'm a new consultant, that's not for me. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Go to the workstation. There's an incentive tab on your left in your little drop-down box. Click it. You can hit the tracker, and it will show you where you're at and what you need to earn that incentive. The last thing that I want to mention, and it could almost be one of the most important things, is to get to know Cincy. A lot of us join. I admitted, like, I joined, I had absolutely no idea what it even was. I just liked the catalog, which says a lot. I mean, that means that they're doing something right. But get to know Cincy and its core values and our mission statement. And you might hear us talk about Heidi and Orville and how they're like God's gift to earth, but it's because they really are. And they're just like, if you meet them in person and ever get to spend time with them, you'll totally get it. But they have created Cincy on this foundation of our core values, our generosity, authenticity, and simplicity. Like, it's literally be kind, give back to the world, sell some warmers and wax, and which we've become more than that, but make people happy, because I'm not happy when I walk into my house and it stinks, right? Like, you walk into a house and it smells good and it's welcoming and it makes you feel good. So, but get to know Cincy and like really who's behind the scenes and what they stand for, because it'll give you a whole new appreciation for Cincy that you didn't even know that you signed up for, but it's definitely worth it. It's like an extra bonus child. So that's all I have. Julia, you're up.
Hi, can everyone hear me?
Yeah, girl.
Okay, so I'm sitting in bed, I'm freezing. I'm the director of Team Aim High Sense Squad. My sponsor is Chelsea. I got bumped up to her. She adopted me. So I have been with Cincy for about almost 5 years. And I wrote down a whole bunch of notes because I get super nervous when I speak in front of tons of people, and there's tons of people on here. So I'm just going to go with it. For me, as a new consultant, I joined because I love the products. It was actually a Marine wife who I joined through. She is no longer with the company. My husband is Army. We have 3 kids, and I've always used the product. I just never thought about selling it. My why now is to pay off debt. I want my family to be financially stable. I want my kids to be able to go to college and not have to worry about, buying my oldest a car when she needs one and stuff like that. So that's probably my why now. It's changed over time. One thing I can say for you new consultants is it's a lot much more than warmers and wax for me personally. It took off. It's changed my family's outlook on life. I enjoy working from home. My son has lung issues. So if I need to stay home, if he's in the hospital, I can work from my phone. So that is like a blessing in disguise. If you are like me and you have 3 kids and one was in and out of the hospital or is, you have that freedom to do that. So the first thing for me as a new consultant, now that I tell people, is to create a post on your Facebook, man. Get it out there that you joined. Put your favorite scent with the bar in the description and a picture. Make samples of it before you even get your kit and get it in people's hands. Like Lindsay said, do your follow-up. And you can generate those orders before you even get your kit. The checklist is a must-do, and that's already what I tell people. basically is things within the checklist. Always say your why. I think it's very important. A lot of people will click with you on a bigger level and pick you as their consultant when they know why you sell it, what your hobbies are. If you have a lot alike, you could become friends. I've gained so many friends from selling this. It's insane to me. And some of them are my best friends. Second, I would recommend to create a page and group on Facebook. Some of my girls do one or the other. I have both. And I also promote on my personal page just because that's who I am, because I love Cincy. This thing, best $2 I've ever spent. Know your products. Know them. Share them. There you go, Chelsea. It is like my Bible. Like when someone asks me a question, I run to it. It breaks down everything in here. The warmers, the wax. It gives you sales tips. It tells you how the diffusers work. Just literally everything you need for me is in this book. So there's that. I also have, when your kit arrives, I always tell them to have a bar in hand to make their samples. But that way you have your samples ready. You can throw them with the catalog and get those into people's hands. And when you do have downtime, so you're not overwhelmed, like Holly had said, to read your consultant handbook, the rules and compliance. With our licensing products, I always say to my team, if I'm posting something, if I have to ask myself, is this within compliance? 9 times out of 10, it's not. So don't post it. Go and read it. Go and look for it. And always utilize your workstation and your sponsor for questions. But first, always look in the workstation. That's probably my biggest thing right now. Even you as a new consultant, your goal is to grow your team. So your time is valuable. You don't want a phone call at 11:59 at night when you're laying in bed with your husband saying, can I post this on Facebook? I sent you a text message. Can you look at the message? That's why there's these things in your workstation, and everything is literally broken down for you so that you can see whether or not the post is approved or not. They have examples of to do and not to do. And Chelsea, she keeps up good with that as well in the Scent Love and Stars group. She has do this, not this in posts for the licensed products. Yeah. So I just started my business hours, believe it or not. I was getting super overwhelmed. So I literally will not look back to my phone or respond to messages until the next morning. So if it's after 9 o'clock at night and I'm in bed and I'm spending time with my husband, like I'm done with it. Cause that's our time. So what else? Oh, this is probably a new one for most of you. The 500 is always your goal, as you know, monthly. I'm an overachiever. I want $100 bonus every month. I always try to hit my 2,000. Always. For my new girls, I always try to tell them 1,500 for their launch party, because not only are they getting sensational start, they're hitting their 500, they're promoting, and then their commission goes up to 25%. And it will never go back down. So that for me is something that I'm like, hey, you need to do this. You will go far. If you can hit this in your first month, you will go far. I promise you. Even within your first 5 months, you will go super far. Always have a party open on your website. Always. Even if it's, my name's Julia's birthday bash. My birthday's this month. So I have a party open because everyone who purchases through that party, guess what I'm going to use those rewards for? Scent circles. Guess what? Those are going to them because they purchased through my party for my birthday month. That's a huge thank you for me, to them for supporting me. because without our customers, we're nothing. And then for opening a party, that was probably one of my biggest challenges. And if you have a good sponsor, they will have the time to either FaceTime you and walk you through it, because it sometimes is hard to open a party and close it out. And if not, that's what leadership is for. So if your sponsor doesn't, respond to you, then you reach up higher. I don't know how many military wives are on here, but it's kind of like the chain of command. Like you go to your sergeant and then the first sergeant and so on and so forth. So that's kind of how I look at that. And then, just utilize everything you have, and give it all you can. Stay positive, especially right now. Shipping is taking longer, but that's because we're kicking ass. So, I'm a little frustrated that my stuff's taking longer, but at this point, I don't even care with the way our numbers are going and everything else. Like, we're killing it. And this has been my best 2 months ever in my 4 years. So I can tell you, I was that person who, when we moved here to Fort Hood from Fort Sill, my paycheck was $10. Like, I was superstar consultant. I did nothing. And then I was sitting on the couch one day and I was like, am I going to do this? I don't know anyone here. I was like not motivated. And then my daughter was like, well, let's go make samples. And like, it gave me a kick in the ass to do it. And if it weren't for that, who knows? So just keep with it. And you'll go far. I'm good. I'm done. I'm like, I don't know who's next, but I think I'm done.
All right. Can you guys hear me? All right. Because I've been having some technical difficulties. I'm like on the computer, on the phone. I've like taken like 15 different pages of notes, and yeah, hot mess express right here. So I am Sarah Myers. I'm not sure what it says down there on my phone. Yeah. Anyway, that's who I am. I am the director of Team Limitless Journey. I hit director last year at Cincy Family Reunion. Chelsea is my sponsor. So sounds like she's been the sponsor of all four of us that have spoke this evening. But you guys have heard amazing things this evening. Of course, you want to do your checklist in the workstation, make your list of 100, everything like that. I'm going to try and make it simple and keep it simple for you guys, because I know we all have lives that we want to get back to, work that we have to start tomorrow and things like that. So I do have a full-time job, so I am one of the directors that does not have this as my only income. I have a full-time job as well, so it is possible to be a director and have a full-time job. So remember that you can do both. It is important to set those hours and to also have like the lists and everything that Lindsay is using, which are absolutely incredible. Use those, because it's going to make you have that time management and do what you need to do. But the notes that I have taken and made for myself are: tour your workstation, know it inside and out, because that's going to be very, very important for you. Watch training videos and everything that you need. Check out YouTube. Check out the superstar directors and anybody that has a YouTube channel. I would sit on YouTube for hours and just watch different training videos and things like that, and see what other different ideas there are that you can get, because you have to try things. If you don't try things, you're not going to know what works for you. Let's see what else I got over here. Keep it simple. We always say, keep it stupid simple. So KISS, remember, keep it stupid simple. Don't overdo things. Don't think you have to do everything either. You're going to see on the pages, people are posting all kinds of things. They're going to post that they're doing confetti, that they're doing thank you cards, that they're throwing samples in, that they're throwing this. Keep it simple for yourself until you're able to get there. Not everybody has the same budget that we all have. So keep it simple for yourself. Write a thank you. You don't have to have personalized thank you cards. go to the dollar store, grab you a pack of thank you cards, and just write a handwritten thank you note. That's all people want, is that you appreciated their order and that you are happy that they ordered from you. Be yourself. Don't try to be somebody else. Don't compare yourself to others. Everybody's journey is completely different. I am a living proof of that. I've been doing it for 5 years. I was horrible at comparing myself to everybody else. I don't do it anymore. I celebrate my successes and my team's successes, because what our successes are could be totally different than what Lindsay's successes are. She leads a different team. She has a different number of people in her team. So don't compare yourself to others, because it's going to destroy. It could destroy you. It can completely destroy you. So just don't do it. Just don't compare yourself to others. Like I said, don't be afraid to try new things. Everyone's journey, everyone's path is different. Just be who you are, guys. Like, I knew Chelsea threw me out here at the end because I'm like the cheerleader. I am the one that's going to give you that pep up, that pep. And I'm always the one that's like, you can do it, right? But you guys can. Share your story, share your why. Everybody's whys, like everyone has said, is something different. It's going to change. Trust me, in the last 5 years, my why has definitely changed. But just be who you are, be authentic. It's one of our core values, right? Be authentic and be who you are. We're all here. This is the most amazing family that I have ever been a part of. We have a sister and brotherhood like you wouldn't believe. The bond is amazing. I know many of you are just starting, and what you have joined is something that you will never believe. If you have significant others or spouses or anything like that, when we all can get together, I will tell you the very first thing that Corey told my husband was, I just want to let you know your wife joined a cult. And that's what we, and seriously, you will think when you see all of us together, because it's going to happen, when you see all of us together and you hear Cincy and out of nowhere you hear Spirit, it's going to be the most amazing feeling inside of you. And you will know that you have joined the most amazing organization and company that you ever want to be a part of, because you're never going to want to walk away from it. So that's my little pep talk. And that's pretty much all I have. If you have any questions, I think Chelsea's going to go that part.
Yeah. So I don't have, I'm going to open it up to the rest of the other leaders if they want to add their tidbit real quick before we end it. Normally these do last an hour, but I knew that this one was going to be a little bit longer due to what we were talking about. So if any other leader wants to add a quick, like 2-minute little tip, advice, feel free to unmute yourself real quick. But I'm going to keep all my stuff for when I go in 2 weeks. So that's my stuff. So any other leader want to jump on and say anything? Because if not, we will go ahead and end this call. Or if
Oh, I guess I'll say something.
go ahead.
Just be your damn self, man. Like, we're all human. We're just trying to help you out, and we're trying to help you succeed and go far. Like, that's all we want. And we're like a family. So if you need anything, like, that's what these girls are here for. If you need to call someone and cry and vent because you're having a bad day, Holly's seen me stressed out and drinking margaritas. And hearing me vent, you have your tribe and you will fit in no matter what. Like, you have that. So just be yourself and stay positive, especially right now. So that's what I got.
Can I add to that really quick? If you are struggling with something, please reach out to somebody too, because we can't read minds. So if you need to talk to somebody, if you have something going on in your life and you just need that person to talk to, please reach out to somebody.
Agreed. Yep. We're all here to help any way we can. But always, I'm going to say that us leaders, we try to encourage everybody to have business hours. So if we don't respond right away, it's not because we hate you. That is not the case. It's because we have to fill up our cup before we can even come and fill up everyone else's cups, because we do so much behind the scenes that a lot of y'all don't even understand. So just know that if we don't respond, it's because we have to take care of ourselves. Just like you guys should be taking care of yourselves. Every Sunday, it's a self-care Sunday for me. So I basically clean out my desk. I do all the things to get myself ready for the week. And that's my way of taking care of myself. So make sure you guys are also taking care of yourself, because one, you're a new business owner. It's going to get overwhelming. You're going to get frustrated. You're going to get excited, but make sure you take care of you. So you can continue taking care of your customers and your team members if you have them. So does anyone else have any? Oh, Brooke, there you go.
I want to say that you need to try and stay in your own lane and not follow somebody else's, because your journey is not going to be the same as anyone else's. It took me 6 years to become a director, and that's a really long time. But that was just what was on my plate. That's what I was given, and that's how my journey was. Your journey may be to level up in 3 months, or your journey could be a 6-year journey like mine was. And try not to compare your journey with somebody else's, because you never know, like, you just don't know. And I just want to say that, because sometimes people forget.
Yep, we're all on a different journey. We all have different things going on in our life. And I see that a few people have already said that they're overwhelmed. My best advice to you, to people who are overwhelmed right now, especially new consultants, take it day by day. It's baby steps. You know, it's not a marathon, or it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. Just take your time. Cincy isn't going anywhere. Neither are you. Trust me, you're not going anywhere when you join this team. We don't let people just fall off. So take your time, take baby steps, read over, make that to-do list. Do 3 to 5 things a day that's going to make you feel accomplished. I do it because I can't do all the things. And I know our leaders can't do all the things. So that's why we have little systems to where we write our stuff down, we check it off, and we see that we've accomplished something. So 3 to 5 things, that's my best advice, is to take baby steps and do 3 to 5 things every single day that is income producing for your business, whether that's looking over the Cincy standards, whether that's going over the comp plan, whether that's going on YouTube and doing trainings. And if you have a sponsor who doesn't do anything, that doesn't mean that you are going to fail in this business. I'm on my 3rd sponsor, and my first 2 didn't do crap for me. Like, literally, I don't even know who my first sponsor was. And my second one, I didn't really need her by the time I got to her, and then she fell off. And now I'm with all of your guys's, she's like your great grandma. Don't ever tell her I said that. But she is my sponsor, who's also my superstar director, Karen Fettis. She's amazing. She's amazing. But that doesn't mean if your sponsor doesn't do anything for you, shame on that sponsor for not doing anything, but that doesn't mean you're gonna fail, because you have our group, you have the workstation, you have YouTube, you have this leadership alone is something that people always ask about. Our group is something people always ask about. So you're a part of something that's amazing. And if you just ask for help, somebody will help you. I promise you, you will not go alone in this business. So that's my little tidbit. And if you're overwhelmed, take a step back, go outside, go do something, and then come back with a fresh mind. I do it all the time, and it works. So if no other leader, if no one else has any questions or anything, we'll go ahead and end it. Let me see here. Yeah, anyone. So it doesn't have to be a leader that helps you. We have that, your team pages, the big group page for a reason. So next week, it's going to be the same time, next Sunday, June 14th at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's going to be talking about front loading your month, expanding your customer base, and attraction marketing. This is going to be so good. So make sure you guys all show up. Tell your team members, because it's going to be really good. So if you guys show up today, that means you are ready to grow and you're ready to level up in your business, and I'm here for it. So that's it. So I will talk with you guys next week. We've got lots of leaders coming next week. So I hope you guys have a great night. Have a great week. This is all going to be this is recorded, and it's going to be on YouTube. I'll provide the link for you guys, and Lindsay's going to also provide the link for the systems. So I love you guys. I'm so proud of you for being here tonight. And thank you to all the leaders who shared tonight. I love you guys. You guys are just amazing. So that's it. So I hope you guys have a great night, and I can't wait to rock out the week with you. Bye, guys.